All right, so this will be nice and quick. Should be easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph linear equations. What word do you see in that word linear? Line. I've had classes say ear. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Ear is in there, all right? But or near, okay? But linear, the line, okay? That's what we're talking about. All right, so that's that. So what I want to do is I want to show you the general form of an equation of a line. Write this down. General form of an equation of a line. And I'm almost positive we did this in geometry, but if we didn't, I bet you saw this equation of a line. I bet you saw this in Algebra 2. I know you probably hate me saying that all the time, and I hate myself saying it all the time, but I just think about it. So here it is. It's AX plus BY plus C equals 0. There it is. That's the equation of a line. Now, unfortunately, I mean, this is nice. This is just a nice compact way to write an equation of a line. But unfortunately, you can't just look at it and see that A and say, oh, that's the slope, or that's the y-intercept. You just can't. It's just a nice compact way to put everything together, set it equal to 0, and that's about it. All right? But you can do, let's see what I want to do with that. Yeah. You can do x and y intercepts with this. So here's a reminder. I'll just do this really quick. All right, let's say you had a graph. Shh, guys. You don't need to crumble paper up when I'm trying to teach something. You don't need to respond to him crumbling paper up. Feel like you're in 9th grade again. Let's see, do this, do this. Okay, here we go. See this thing right here? It crosses the x-axis right here, and it crosses the y-axis right there. So we give it a name. The point where it crosses the x-axis is called the x, anybody remember it? Intercept, good. And you did that in algebra last year, didn't you? And then where it crosses the y-axis is called, obviously, the y-intercept. I'll just shorten it, y-intercept. Now, let's look at the ordered pairs to the x-intercept. So that point right there, now I don't know how far I went over, but I went over what? X direction, correct? How far up did I go?
Y direction, 2.
It's a point. It doesn't look like a point, but it's a point right there. To get to that point, how far up did I go? It wouldn't be guessing.
Oh, 0.
Right, it hits the x-axis, so I didn't go up anywhere, did I? So what's the ordered pair for the x-intercept? It's x what? 0. Okay? Are you with me?
Yeah.
So what is the y? The y is 0, isn't it? So on the x-intercept, the y is 0. Let's do the same thing with the y-intercept. What's the ordered pair for this? Now, I don't know how far. I didn't put numbers on here. But what's the ordered pair? How far did I...
0.
How far... I go x, y, right? How far did I go left and right? I went 0. How far up did I go? I went y. So we set the what? What's 0? We set the x equal to 0. So here's the key to this. They're going to ask you to graph a line, and they're going to put it into this form, and they're going to say by using the x and the y intercepts. It's actually kind of nice. So this form is nice, but you got to do some stuff with it. So here's the example that they give you. So I'll just do it right here. Example 1. And it says to graph, and it's a very easy graph if you can do the x and y intercepts. It's kind of like a it's kind of underrated way to graph something. It really is. Because most of the time, what's the equation of a line that we learn when we're in Algebra 1, in Geometry, and Algebra 2? It's called the what? It's the slope-intercept form. Okay, that's the one that we use a lot. All right, but this is kind of underrated, but it's a great way to graph. So if I want to graph this, I'm going to use it by the x and y intercept. So let's find the x-intercept. Let's find out where it crosses the x-axis. Without sketching it out, okay, just math, how do we find the x-intercept? Well, we do what? We set y to 0, okay? We set the other one equal to 0. So we're going to take this equation, and we're going to set y equal to 0, and we're going to find what the x is. Everybody with me on that? So my answer for the x-intercept is going to look like this. It's going to be some number. What's this going to be? No, it's going to be 0. That's going to be 0, okay? So let's do it. Let's set y equal to 0. So what do I get? 3x minus 0. Do I even need to write that? No. minus 2 equals 0. And let's solve for x. Add a 2, divide by 3. What's x? If I add a 2, divide by 3, 2/3. That's my x-intercept. It's 2/3, 0. So I start at the origin, I go 2/3, right? Not all the way to 1, but I go 2/3, and then I don't go anywhere else, put a dot, boom. I got half of my graph right there. It's all I need. How many points do I need for a graph?
Just one.
1? If I have 1, my graph could go anywhere. 2. You need 2 points for a graph, okay? So there's my point right there. It's not really my answer, but I'm going to put it in a box just to save it because we're going to use it in a second. Now let's find the y-intercept. We basically do the same thing except what? We set x equal to 0. So come back up to this equation, and this time we're going to make x equal to 0. We can just do this in our head. What's this? 3 times 0 is 0. So what do we got? Minus y minus 2 equals 0. Let's solve for y. Add a 2. Divide by 1. What is it?
2.
Negative 2, because we divided by negative 1. I said divide by 1. Divide by negative 1. All right, so y is negative 2. Everybody with me so far? All right, so what's my ordered pair now? My ordered pair for my y-intercept is what? X is 0, and I just found the y, which is negative 2. Put that in a little box and save it. Not for long, because we're about to graph. All right, so let me make a little graph right here. I'll show you how easy it is. You don't have to count slopes and all that kind of stuff. You just put 2 points, connect them, and you're done. So let's go 1, 2. Doesn't have to be very big because our numbers aren't very big. All right, and let's change colors just so you see it a little bit better. So we're just going to plot these 2 points. 2/3, 0. Where is 2/3? Well, it's about right there, isn't it? And how far up and down do I go? Nowhere. It just stays right there. So that's my x-intercept. It's where it crosses the x-axis. What about the y-intercept? Up 0, negative 2. So you go down 2 on the y-axis, right? That's on the x-axis. This one's on the y-axis. Now, what do I do with those 2 points? Just connect them, and that's my graph. I'm done. All right? It's actually fairly simple. See what I mean by it's a little underrated? I could have, now you already know slope-intercept because you've been taught it before. I could go through here and solve for y, right? Get y by itself, then look and see what the y-intercept, plot it, and then figure out what the slope is, rise, run, put a point, then connect them, right? Or I could do it this way. Tell you the truth, they're both fairly simple, but that's how we do the y-intercept. So we got more to talk about. We're going to talk about slope. We'll talk about the slope-intercept form later, but at least we got started on this. All right, I'm not going to give any homework on this. So unless you want to start, I gave you a lesson plan thing, right? If you want to start and do a few of them, again, we haven't taught the whole thing, so we're like half a day behind now, and it's only Tuesday. I told you we probably wouldn't stay on track. But there you go. So if you want to try some, you can. You'll have less homework tomorrow because we'll definitely have homework tomorrow, okay? All right, that's it.